December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. For most Americans enjoying a quiet Sunday morning, the world was about to change forever. But what led to this devastating surprise attack, and how did it ripple across the globe, shaping the world we live in today? Let's rewind. The early 1940s were a tense time. While Europe was engulfed in the flames of World War II, the United States maintained a policy of neutrality, at least officially. Boss across the Pacific. The Empire of Japan was pursuing aggressive expansionist policies in Asia, particularly in China. This put them on a collision course with the United States, which responded with economic sanctions, most critically, an oil embargo. Japan's military machine was heavily dependent on American oil. With its fuel reserves dwindling, Japan faced a stark choice: either abandon its ambitions or secure new resources by force. They chose the latter. Their target, the U.S. Pacific Fleet, conveniently anchored at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The Japanese High Command, led by Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, believed a swift, decisive blow could cripple the American Navy, giving Japan a free hand to conquer Southeast Asia and its resource-rich territories. It was an incredibly audacious gamble. The plan, meticulously crafted and rehearsed, involved 6 aircraft carriers sailing over 3,500 miles in complete radio silence to achieve total surprise. As dawn broke over Oahu on that fateful Sunday, the first wave of 183 Japanese planes, torpedo bombers, dive bombers, and fighters appeared in the skies. The American forces were completely unprepared. Radars had detected the incoming planes, but they were dismissed as a flight of B-17s expected from the mainland. The scene quickly devolved into chaos. Explosions ripped through the tranquil harbor. The USS Arizona was hit by an armor-piercing bomb that detonated its forward magazine, creating a cataclysmic explosion that sank the battleship in minutes, entombing over 1,100 of its crew. The USS Oklahoma, struck by multiple torpedoes, capsized, trapping hundreds of sailors inside. The USS West Virginia, the USS California, the USS Nevador suffered immense damage. Moored in neat rows on Battleship Row, they were sitting ducks. The attack wasn't confined to the harbor. Japanese planes strafed airfields across Oahu, destroying nearly 200 American aircraft before they could even get off the ground, ensuring Japanese air superiority over the battlefield. A second wave of 171 planes followed, continuing the assault. In just under 2 hours, the attack was over. The toll was staggering. Over 2,400 Americans were killed, including civilians, and another 1,100 were wounded. 8 battleships were sunk or heavily damaged. The heart of the U.S. Pacific Fleet seemed to have been torn out. From a purely tactical standpoint, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor was a stunning success. But strategically, it was one of the greatest miscalculations in military history. The Japanese had hoped to shatter American morale and force the U.S. to the negotiating table. They achieved the exact opposite. The attack on Pearl Harbor didn't scare America. It enraged it. The sleeping giant, as Yamamoto reportedly feared, had been awoken and filled with a terrible resolve. The day after the attack, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed a joint session of Congress. His powerful speech, declaring December 7th a date which will live in infamy, galvanized the nation. With near unanimous consent, Congress declared war on Japan. A few days later, Germany and Italy, Japan's allies, declared war on the United States, and America was officially plunged into the global conflict of World War II. The consequences were immediate and far-reaching. The attack unified a previously divided American public. Isolationism vanished overnight, replaced by a surge of patriotism. Recruitment offices were flooded with volunteers. American industry, already stirring as the arsenal of democracy, shifted into overdrive. Factories that once made cars started churning out tanks and planes at an astonishing rate. This massive industrial mobilization not only equipped the Allied forces, but also pulled the US economy out of the Great Depression for good. For Japanese Americans, the aftermath of Pearl Harbor was a tragedy of a different kind. Fueled by fear and racial prejudice, the US government authorized the forced relocation and internment of over 120,000 people of Japanese ancestry, most of whom were American citizens. Stripped of their homes, businesses, and civil liberties, they were sent to camps in remote areas for the duration of the war. It remains one of the darkest chapters in American civil rights history. In the Pacific Theater, the war began poorly for the Allies. Without the full power of the Pacific Fleet, the US and its allies couldn't stop the Japanese juggernaut. Japan rapidly conquered the Philippines, Malaya, Singapore, and much of Southeast Asia. But Japan had made a crucial error at Pearl Harbor. They had failed to destroy the American aircraft carriers, which happened to be out at sea on maneuvers that day. They also missed the naval base's crucial fuel storage tanks and repair facilities. This oversight would prove fatal. The aircraft carrier had just become the new queen of naval warfare, rendering the battleship obsolete. And it was American carriers that would turn the tide just 6 months later at the Battle of Midway. This pivotal battle saw the US Navy sink 4 of the 6 Japanese carriers that had attacked Pearl Harbor, a devastating blow from which the Japanese Imperial Navy would never fully recover. From Midway on, the US and its allies began the long, brutal island-hopping campaign across the Pacific, pushing Japanese forces back island by island, from Guadalcanal to Iwo Jima and Okinawa. The war that began at Pearl Harbor would ultimately culminate in the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, leading to Japan's unconditional surrender. The world that emerged from the ashes of World War II was fundamentally different. The United States, with its unparalleled industrial and military might, stood as one of 2 global superpowers, alongside the Soviet Union, setting the stage for the Cold War. The attack on Pearl Harbor marked the definitive end of American isolationism and the beginning of its role as a leader on the world stage, a role it continues to play to this day. Today, the USS Arizona Memorial stands as a solemn, powerful reminder above the sunken wreckage of the battleship. It's a place of pilgrimage and reflection, honoring those who lost their lives on that Sunday morning. Pearl Harbor is more than just a historical event. It's a profound lesson in preparedness, resilience, and the catastrophic consequences of conflict. It shows how a single day can alter the course of history, transforming nations and the lives of millions. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.